Hey Pisces, I bet you thought I forgot about you, but I could never forget about my little Pisces. This is your Sagittarius season reading. So this is for Pisces Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. If you are a Pisces one of those and this one is not resonating, go and check your other signs. There will be multiple messages there for you waiting. So without further ado, let's get right on into it. We've got some cards already popping out, but I'm not going to take them yet. I will talk about them though. King of Pentacles popped out because they might come back, and if they come back, I want to be able to remember. King of Pentacles popped out. The Lovers popped out. Five of Wands. Four of Swords. This is kind of wanting to get talked about. We'll do like all of it, but these cards seem to have something to say, even though they fell out before the shuffle. You might feel like something greater than you is happening right now in terms of a divine love connection. You may feel like there's too much in the way and that the call has been to rest and retreat, and you are heeding that call while you can kind of power up in terms of getting your material world under control. This is the King of Pentacles. He has his mind on his money and his money on his mind, but he also knows, because he is a king, he is high vibrational masculine energy. He knows there's a time and a place to think about money and to be focused on other stuff, because you don't, I was going to say you don't get to be the king just by being rich, but it turns out super easy to buy presidencies. So, and then I'm sure like all of recorded history might, I don't know this for sure, but might go back and confirm that, like, oh wow, if you have a lot of money, it's super, super accessible for you to be in a great amount of power. So anyway, but always about using our power through our heart, not, I think it's good to kind of step away from duality in terms of good and evil, because there just is, and, two sides of the same coin, but there is something to be said for living in your heart center, and that is a thing that can be extremely, extremely challenging, because it takes a whole lot of willpower and perseverance to kind of be able to have that control or that muscle where even when your ego's getting poked, you're wanting to kind of revert and go inward, and you're feeling very much your wounded child, that sort of grabs all of your experience, and it can be very hard to see the situations accurately. We can get very confused in our projections, and we can read people wrong. And that doesn't really necessarily have anything to do with anything, but it's about giving yourself the space that when these really intense experiences come up, when you are dealing with major arcana cards like the Lovers, because the Lovers can also talk about the alignment of your own inner feminine and inner masculine, because we all have an inner feminine and we all have an inner masculine. And what resonates for me is that we are here to really embody both our inner divine feminine and our inner divine masculine together, because when our feminine and masculine are working together, when they have a functional partnership, your inner child is naturally safe, because you become kind of your own high vibrational parents, if that makes sense, because you are able, your feminine feels safe and held by your masculine, and your masculine, feels like he can feels safe going to the feminine in terms of like, I need help, this is what you can do for me, and the feminine is there to be able to hold that space for him. And so when you can do that for yourself, and when you can understand, I might be operating out of some wounds here rooted in, my relationship with a primary caregiver in my life, or this is really bringing me back to grade school or junior high where things didn't go my way romantically, just that we are the whole of all of our life experience walking around, and so we are accessing these parts of ourselves all day, every day, continually, and the things that we have the most intense reactions to are probably the ones that have been sitting in our subconscious for so long that, I mean, they're subconscious. You can't see them accurately. So, okay. Right as I was getting ready to ask, what can Pisces expect for Sagittarius season, we've got the Knight of Pentacles reversed. Okay, Pisces. We've got the Knight of Pentacles reversed, Five of Swords reversed, and Three of Wands reversed. All of a sudden my throat is going, which is very interesting. Like there's an incredible tightness in my throat right now where it's like I need to cough. So we might be clearing some throat chakra energy. The Five of Swords, okay. A few things are happening here. A few things all need to be looked at a little bit closer. One is there is something, I don't know if expecting would be the right word, but you have something in mind in terms of where you want to be in life versus where maybe you feel like you are now. And as that relates to, well, nobody ever fucking brought it for me. You know, and maybe instead of using this as an opportunity to kind of see where we can self-sabotage ourselves in terms of getting where we want to go, and typically self-sabotage has to do with fear of failure. You know, and so we prevent and we create these blockages within ourselves so we don't get the thing that we so desperately want because we're so afraid that it can't get to us. But the thing about that is that we are divine beings and we are encoded when we come to Earth through our astrology chart, through our natal chart, through the vibrational frequency that we come in on, and through our family DNA line in terms of this is an experience I want to have, this is an experience I want to have, this is an experience I want to have, and this is an experience I want to have. And what I mean by that is the experiences that you are set to have, that you need to have, that you came down here to have for your soul's evolution, you will have. What is yours can never be taken away. What is yours can never be taken away. And so there's fear here that something is being taken away, or that it never got there, or that perhaps there's been waiting in vain, and I'm getting kind of emotional. Not kind of emotional, I'm getting emotional. And it's interesting because Pentacles talks about the material world, right? It's things we can talk, touch, taste, smell, use, understand, things that help us navigate the physical world. But I feel a lot of self-betrayal in what we've got. Pisces, you're making me cry. This is hard energy to be in, and my heart is going out to you, where there's this self-betrayal that you've kind of convinced yourself that what you want either isn't wanting you, or trying to kind of step out of this energy where people are doing the wrong things for the wrong reasons, you know, kind of actively seeking to screw each other over. And it's like that there's so much fear here that you've waited in vain for this beautiful thing that you want so badly, where it's this intense fear that one, you've fucked it up, and two, that it's something that you've convinced yourself that this great adventure that you thought you were gonna have, like it was just a mirage of the universe. I was gonna say a cruel joke. And certainly cruel is a feeling, and there can be, cruel is just a block from love, right? And a block that is built, a dam that is started through cutting ourselves off from love. Which is interesting because I'm looking at this knight's armor here, and if we're not going off into battle, if you're not finding yourself in battle, and it's mental battles, maybe, but really, what is the armor you're wearing and why? So let's go into this a little bit more. At the bottom, we've got 10 of Wands, where this is about the burdens that we carry. The blockages, right? Because he can't see where he's headed. He can't see he's almost home. All he can see are the sticks in front of him, and just feeling so lost and forlorn in how long and challenging this journey has been. And I'm not even getting to where I want to be, that I haven't had this fresh new start where I feel passionate and alive and energized, and my cup is full and my body is alive in really exciting ways, and, you know, kind of kundalini energy is flowing between me. That this could be a few things. This could either be a person that you're dealing with, this Queen of Wands. I'm just looking at the black cat. The Queen of Wands is fire in a woman. She is vivacious, she is passionate, she is alive, she is sharp-tongued and quick-witted. There isn't always a whole lot of forethought with her. There can be some pretty impulsive energy there. I just can't stop staring at this cat. There's a whole card, but there's the cat. Cats can be messengers from the underworld. Cats have a lot of metaphysical properties and powers, and mummies are absolutely terrified of them. And you've got the 3 pyramids in the back. But when we are in our Queen of Wands energy, we attract people to us because we are simply so much fun to be around. And it's like you've got so much stuff in your face that you feel like you'll never be able to get back to being a person who's fun to be around. But it's about, you know, kind of stepping out of the long sleepless nights, understanding that this is energy that's dissipating. It's just about learning how to really work with what comes up for you in terms of staying present with your emotional experience, you know, and really asking yourselves, why do you want what you want? Like, have you really sat down and thought about, like, well, this thing I want so badly, this thing I want more than anything in the world, why? Why is it calling me? Why do I want this? And that can be kind of a scary exercise to do, because then we come away with understanding, right? We come away with clarity. And what happens when we have clarity is, well, fuck, now we're aware, and now we have to make a choice about what we do with it. And then so that is kind of when, too, this 5 of Swords energy can step in, because you can be aware of all of these things that are happening to you, for you, in your life. All of these things that are asking for you to really kind of examine your fears and drop what isn't yours to because we have to be energetically clear in order for the universe to bring us what we want first, right? And in order to energetically be clear, it requires a whole lot of work in terms of examining who we are and why. What has happened to us? What are the stories we tell ourselves in terms of not only, well, my name is Emily, and I was born da 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 da, and I grew up da 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 da, and I went to school here, and I worked there, and now I work here, and da 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 da. But old stories like, I am a piece of shit and no one loves me, right? And that I am no fun to be around, so no one's around me. Old stories that are kind of especially rooted in self-judgment. And because of these old stories, because of their deep, like bottom fucking layers of our subconscious, it's that much harder for us to get to. It requires us digging down that much more, bearing down that much harder, so we can figure out all of the things that are keeping us blocked out of this energy. Animals are talking to you right now, loudly and specifically. You know what they're saying. It's a matter of trusting it. It's a matter of listening to your gut. Don't be afraid to listen to your gut, and your first instinct is pretty much always the right one in terms of what you think this is. If this animal is bringing a message to you from your grandmother versus, this is a confirmation, whatever your instincts are telling you about the animals that are appearing for you, listen to that, because you're really being offered true alignment here, and you're being offered alignment in a way that is fun and full of life and beautiful. It just really requires removing and being willing to drop and release and surrender, which is something totally different than dropping, because especially when so much of our outer world feels out of control, that's when we really want to close in and hyper manage and freeze up and control and control and control. That might have worked in 2019 a little bit. It's not going to work in 2020. It's not going to work anymore. We are not building from lower dimensionally up anymore. We are building higher dimensionally and then letting it fall down. And so when we are aligned, when we are hard at work in doing what it takes to be the most aligned version of ourselves, the highest possible embodiment of ourselves, that is when the universe is always moving for us, but that is when the animals will really fucking start to talk. And that is when the trees will have messages, and the way the air moves through those trees, and the way the leaves rattle, and the way the leaves fall, and the way that the flowers change in the spring. We are really starting to understand the language of the universe in a way that collectively a few of us might have, but all of us, no, certainly not. That we're all coming online, quite literally, to the magic that's been here all along, waiting for us to get here, because we're doing some big shit here. And big shit can be challenging, because big shift requires a lot of work. It requires stamina. It requires willpower. And Pisces, my loves, my little water babes, so emotional. It's so much easier to get lost, both beyond the veil and within our own head. And we can kind of float around up there and not lose touch, but forget that there is a physical world that requires our participation. And it requires our participation because we are here in this physical world. Because if we were gonna just be, you know, energy floating around in the ethers, we would be there. And certainly you are there. I'm there. We're all there right now because we're multidimensional. But the whole, I'm talking the whole, like HULL, like the whole of a ship, the whole of this human experience, you have to be human. And so that's where, you know, sort of all of your attention goes, and it's such a convincing illusion that you forget. You're born forgetting the beauty of the connection that is all around us. And so the way we get back to the beauty of that connection all around us, where our passionate new beginning can find us, where we're creatively charged, where we're sexually charged, where we're just lit the fuck up by the universe in terms of the adventures that we want to go and what we feel we can accomplish and what we're here to do, and that which brings us joy, that which puts us in our Queen of Wands energy. We have to be willing to release control. We have to be willing to release control. We have to be willing to surrender. I want you to repeat after me, Pisces, out loud. And I'm listening so I can hear you if you don't. I release. I surrender. I flow. I allow. I surrender. I release. I flow. I allow. What is for you cannot be taken from you. It can't. It will never not find you. It is safe to trust the universe. It is safe to put things down. And it is really safe to ask yourself questions about why you want what you want. Where are you wanting it from? What is that want stemming from? Because it will bring clarity. It will bring peace. And it will bring you the gift of the ability to look at each of these wands, each of these 10 wands, and say, I want you, you, and you. You are mine to carry. The rest of y'all motherfuckers can go home. You don't have to stay home, but you can't, or you don't have to go home, I guess, but you can't stay here. It's closing time. So, with that said, Pisces, it's looking like Sagittarius season. If you can stay present, and if you're willing to kind of ask yourself a little bit tougher questions, you'll really, 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 really start to feel this lady coming back, this energy coming back. All of my love, all of my love, all of my love. This shit, this human shit, dude. We're strong, man, and we can get through this, and we're doing it, and we're doing it beautifully. And I am so proud of you, and I know you're doing your best, and I love you so much, and thank you for being here. If you are interested in booking a personal reading with me, you can do so. Information will be in the description box below. And thank you so much for being here. All of my love.